Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. And this is Hog Money by Manly P. Hall, an article taken from Horizon, the magazine of useful and intelligent living, Volume 6, Number 1, Summer 1946. Hog Money by Manly P. Hall. In the year 1515, a Spanish navigator by name Juan Bermudez was shipwrecked on a group of islands about 600 miles off the east coast of North America. Captain Bermudez was on his way to Cuba with a cargo of hogs. The swine survived the wreck and took over the sole management of the island. In the course of time, the animals increased and multiplied to a goodly number. In 1593, Henry May, an Englishman, also arrived by way of wreckage on the same island and found these large herds of swine roaming about in a wild state. In 1609, Sir George Somers was appointed governor of the colony of Virginia. He started for the colonies with the dignity appropriate to his position, but his arrival was delayed when his ship foundered on the Hog Islands. Later, he was able to victual a vessel with prime pork and proceed to the governorship of Virginia. The islands, now known as the Bermudas, were called for a time the Summer Islands in honor of Sir George's impromptu visit. In 1609, James I of England granted a charter to the Bermuda Company, and in 1612, Master Richard Moore and 60 colonists from Virginia settled on one of the islands. In 1616, Captain John Smith appointed Master Daniel Tucker governor of Bermuda. In the meantime, Sir George Somers, remembering the fine quality of hog meat, journeyed to Bermuda for provisions. He died in the islands, reportedly from an excessive diet of fresh pork. About 1616, 4 years after the first permanent colony was established, a series of coins were struck in England for use in the Bermudas. The whole circumstance of this coinage was extremely obscure. 4 types of coins appear to have been struck. They were of brass and in 3 denominations. There were 2 shillings, one a thick planchet and the other of the same size, but considerably thinner. There was also a 6pence and a 3pence. They are extremely rare and have the distinction of being the first coins made for the Americas. The minting of money in America itself did not begin until 1652. The accompanying reproductions show the obverse and reverse of the Summer Island shilling, or hog money. The obverse design bears the legend Summer Island surrounding the figure of a wild boar. Above the boar is the numeral 12, signifying 12 pence. There is no date. The reverse of the coin is a ship under full sail with what appears to a hole in its side. This, however, may be merely a defect in the coin. Beneath the ship are some tiny, undecipherable markings. The 6pence is similar in design with the numeral 6 above the boar. The 3pence is similar but considerably smaller and bears no legend. Dye's Coin Encyclopedia states that the time, place, and circumstance of the production of the hog money are impossible to discover. It had, it would seem, a limited circulation both as to time and quantity, and the pieces which now represent the issue are almost unique. As the first coins struck for American circulation, these pieces are remarkable and excite a peculiar interest. Dye records only 2 of the shillings and 1 example of the 6pence to be known. The latter was dug up in a garden in Bermuda. It would seem, however, that a few other examples have been found, and in 1935 they are listed in catalogues of rare coins. Although so listed, the Summer Island money is not available through normal numismatic channels. The Summer Island shilling. We are fortunate in having a fine example of the shilling of this issue in the permanent collection of the Philosophical Research Society, where it is available for examination by students. We cannot but ponder the unusual honor bestowed upon the lowly swine and wonder if perchance there might be more to the story than appears on the surface. It is also strange that so coinage should be shrouded complete obscurity. It must something of an occasion in England to mint the first coins for the Western Hemisphere. Lesser subjects have prompted lengthy consideration. Captain John Smith, writing in 1624, only 8 years later, speaks of the hog money as something belonging to ancient times. Apparently he knew little about it, although he was a leading spirit in the entire enterprise. The wild boar on the Summer Island shilling carries the definite impression of being an heraldic device. It is identical in drawing with the crests of such men as Lord Bacon and the Earl of Oxford, even to the jaunty curl of its porcine tail. Could it be by any chance that we would profit from a further consideration of those famous words in The Merry Wives of Windsor? Hang hog is Latin for bacon, I warrant you. It has just come to mind that Latin uncapitalized is a form of the word Latin, which in turn means a small sheet of brass. Latin was used in the making of small ornaments, usually for churches, and was appropriate for medals and coins. The hog money was struck in brass. Perhaps this hog is brass for Bacon. The crest of Lord Bacon. It should be borne in mind that Lord Bacon was the man appointed by King James I to organize and develop the entire scheme of American colonization. The details of the plan were his, subject only to the final approval of the Crown. To Francis Bacon, America was much more than a vast wilderness to be distributed among the aristocracy of England. It was a new country, appropriate to the perfection of his own great dream of the new Atlantis. Here was a large continent, uncorrupted by the intrigues which frustrated European idealism. A new land for a new ideal, a spacious and proper place for the building of a scientific and philosophical way of life. Lord Bacon was a man of diverse interests and secret purposes. He sealed all his projects with some proper symbol. The fortuitous circumstance of wild hogs on the Bermudas was perfect to his purposes. Here was a ready explanation acceptable and sufficient for those satisfied with the obvious. But why all the secrecy and doubt about the origin of the hog money? There is nothing mysterious about a coin unless that secrecy is achieved or manufactured for a reason. The numismatic catalogues say that these coins are supposed to have been cast in 1616, a vital year in all the matters which concern Lord Bacon. In that year, Shakespeare died, and there was an immediate shift in the literary pattern of Europe. Also in 1616, most of the early Rosicrucian manifestos appeared. This significant date and number appear constantly among Bacon's secret signatures. In addition to the symbol of the boar, what other emblem is peculiarly associated with Lord Bacon's work? It is generally accepted today, and it was Bacon's opinion in his own time, that the most important of his literary endeavors was his broad scheme toward a reorganization of all useful knowledge. This was the scheme which resulted in the Instauratio Magna, the great text of the new order of intellect. The principal parts of the Instauratio Magna were published under the title Novum Organum in 1628. On the title page of this book was a ship under full sail, voyaging forth into the unknown sea of learning between the Pillars of Hercules. A similar symbol is to be found on the first complete English edition of Bacon's Advancement of Learning, which appeared in 1640. Bacon symbolized his work by the ship, which represented his inductive system of reasoning. Men might explore the unknown and seek for those distant lands beyond the sea of doubt. Is it also a coincidence that this ship under full sail should appear on the summer island Chilling? Here together are the boar and the ship, always combined in his lordship's accredited works, and now appearing on the first coins minted for the colonization program, which was in his care and keeping. This seems a trifle too fortuitous. When we realize the full measure of Bacon's dream for a blessed land beyond the sea, and understand the elaborate machinery which he set up to attain his purpose, it would not be surprising if he had placed his symbols on all these ancient coins. Another fragment of circumstantial evidence points in the same direction: the curious rarity of the coins. They are little better than phantoms, known to exist but difficult to discover. For more than 250 years, there has been a systematic effort to obliterate the Baconian landmarks in the Western Hemisphere. One by one, the significant identifying marks fade away to lie concealed in private collections. If we attempt to trace these markings and symbols, we always come to a dead end. The dark curtain of mystery shrouds the greater part of Lord Bacon's endeavors. These coins are little things, but they cannot be traced except to England, where they disappear into that obscure factory of subtle indications which was responsible for so many mystic and Masonic emblems. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.